So, John, how's Project XJ coming along?
Pretty good, making some decent progress. Got most of the driver floor pan all fitted, trimmed up, ready to weld in. Well, almost ready. I gotta drill some holes for the weld to, weld it. Plug welds and whatnot.
Well, I saw some of the pictures on either your personal Facebook or 4x4 Talk or something you posted on some of your
That was on
progress.
Facebook, yeah. I meant to put an album post on 4x4 Talk, and I forgot.
So, do you actually think you're going to have this thing, Wheels in the Woods?
There's a good possibility. Planning it and just looking at all the small timeline things, it's not going to be 100%, but it might be enough to beat you.
All right, well, let's talk about that here in a second.
I like it.
It's time to hit the trail, lock in those hubs, and throw it into low range. Because you are listening to Wheelin' with Keith and Johnny Orange. They're here to talk about 4x4s, trucks, and everything to do with enjoying the great outdoors. Buckle up. Here's your hosts, Keith and Johnny Orange.
All right, I'm not conceding defeat yet, okay?
Yeah, don't do that yet. I mean, I've seen you work on stuff. You might be able to last minute surpass me and beat me.
Well, I hope I don't, because I want to get XJ on the road.
Oh, God, do I ever.
It's worth $100 to me to see XJ on the
I
road.
won't go that high of a bottle.
Well, whatever. It is worth it to me because I really want to see that. And today I got some news. Like, first, you've seen my parts collection mode has pretty much not stalled out, but I have most of the parts I need now to build my rig. But I need the garage situation set up a little bit different so I can get the Cummins set and I can get the 6.4 going and this and that. So I have... I mean, if I have that motor out by the end of the week, I mean, it would be a miracle of God, and I really don't think it's going to happen. And today I got a little bit of news that is going to set me back, so I think you're going to win by quote-unquote handicap on this thing.
Oh, that's not good. What'd you do?
Well, I've been all that, the problems with my elbow.
Yeah.
Finally, they sent me to the right specialist because they kept bouncing me around to different people, and they sent me to the right guy. And I go in there today, and he's like looking at everything, and he's like, "Oh yeah, that muscle in your arm." He goes, "It is tennis elbow." He goes, "But that muscle that basically goes along your arm where it connects to your, I forgot what it's called. It might be your tricep or something. I'm not sure. It goes in, it connects to your elbow." He goes, "Yeah, a portion of that's dead." And yeah, so on the 24th, I have to go in for surgery. And they're actually going to let me know in the next couple of days here whether or not they're going to try to do an experimental surgery. That they've done 15 of them so far, and they've had a lot of luck with it, but they are having problems getting insurance companies to pay for it.
It's such a bad joke to make right now, but I won't.
Why is it not? Go ahead. I don't care.
I'll tell you off the air. It's kind of political, but it's really fun.
Well, anyway, so the experimental one, if they do the experimental one, it's an in and out, and hopefully within a week, everything will be feeling good again.
Oh, wow.
Okay. That's done.
How long till you can use it, though?
Right away, because that would all be done. Basically, what they do is they...
Laparoscopic?
Basically, what they do is they take a bunch of your blood out, put it in a centrifuge, remove the platelets, remove the white blood cells, other stuff, the plasma. They go right to the red blood cells. They do something to that. They re-inject it directly into the quote-unquote dead tissue, and they've had... it rejuvenates and survives.
Interesting.
But if it doesn't... if they can't get the insurance to pay for it, then they're going to have to go in the old-fashioned way, which is they do a 3 to 4 inch incision on my arm, go in there, cut out the dead muscle, and scrape up the bone a little bit, and then most likely it'll be about 3 months before the elbow is, fully back to where it needs to be.
That sucks.
Well, it's fine, man, but I'm right-handed, so working left-handed out there is going to be it's going to be a trick. You know me, I'm not going to be sitting on the couch. I'm not going to be laying in bed. I'll be back to work the very next day. I mean,
I can see it.
I already said to the guys I go at work is if they do the surgery early in the morning, I'm going to be in by noon. I says I'm just going to, hey, whoever drives me, I'm just going to come right to the job site from the hospital.
Imagine Keith stumbling around just in a bare-assed in the robe from the hospital still for some reason. It's an image none of us want. And I'm sorry, listeners, that you've just puked up your breakfast and spit out your coffee. but I don't know why that sticks to my head.
So, we'll see. I will still concede if that happens because, in injuries in the Olympics and whatnot, if you're out by injury, you still will lose. So, you don't get a consolidation prize or whatever.
I did a combat handgun 1 class yesterday where I work. And, I'm kind of the same way. I'm very right-hand dominant, and half the skills in the shooting portion were all left-hand.
Well, yeah.
And that was weird. I know that's a skill I've needed to work on in the past, but oh my God, I did bad.
Yeah.
Not as bad as I expected with some of it, but it sucks doing stuff left-handed.
Yeah, you get used to it. I've had to do it a few times with injuries and stuff, but it's...
I found that little, trigger finger where your fingers pop. Yeah, that made a few of the skills difficult, but yeah, that's always fun.
Well, anyway, so we'll see. But I'm pretty happy that XJ's coming on, or is going to be going.
I'm ecstatic. It feels
good to be
neither of
us are there with our rig, then it's a wash.
Yeah.
So everyone else, you guys need to show us shame and show up with your awesome build rig, especially... kudos to you if you started your rig build, say, July 1st, and you have it ready for Wheels in the Woods, October 9th. In Clay Township, Michigan. Now, on that note, Wheels in the Woods, like I said, October 9th, Clay Township, Michigan. You can look up Wheels in the Woods 2021 on Facebook. Tell people you're going to come there. But we have 2 sponsors this year. And I'd like to mention those 2 awesome sponsors. We have one returning sponsor. We had a former sponsor that just due to various reasons we didn't even approach them this year. Yeah. No bad blood or anything that for people who know who our previous sponsors were, but there was one that we
really didn't even have a chance to talk to them. The other 2 sponsors picked up all the awards.
Well, that's part of it too, and I was going to get to that. So, sponsor 1 was my own brother, Kodet's True Value Hardware, and he has 3 locations: Williamston, Michigan. He has Fowlerville, Michigan, and Livonia, Michigan. He has the True Value Hardwares there. But before I get to how many awards he took, he is returning this year. He has been a sponsor every single year.
So yeah, they've been here since the beginning.
Every single year. He's a big believer in what we're doing, and they love old trucks and 4x4s. And like we've said before on the show, if you are a Southern Michigan native and you're looking for great deals on hardware, especially like for our car and truck guys, they have, at least the last time I was at the Fowlerville location, they have racks and racks of show quality stainless. He brought it in there because there was a lot of biker guys that were interested in it.
Nice.
And he has one of the best selections of show quality stainless in stock. Instead of having to order stuff online, you can walk right in there, and if you need a weird bolt that's stainless, he probably has it.
That's what I love about these hardware stores, and I absolutely love that they came on board with us again this year. A lot of these projects we do, we need that oddball nut, bolt, screw, pin, spring,
exactly,
so on and so forth, and you can't find that a lot of places, or you got to special order it, then you got to wait.
Exactly.
You go to these local hardware stores, be it Kodet's or any of them. Mainly Kodet, I'm pushing here.
Yeah, I like it, yeah.
But, you get that oddball bolt. It might cost a little bit more, but you're not waiting on it. You got it right there, and you're helping support local businesses.
Absolutely.
Which is just awesome, especially this day and age. Help keep them going so that we can continue to do these kind of projects.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. Support local, shop local. We're always big fans of that, no matter where you're at in the country, in the world. Support your local industry because that's what you need to keep your economy, your local economy going good. Speaking of our local economies, John, you had approached our new sponsor this year, first year on this sponsor.
Yep.
Do you want to say who they are?
Yeah, so we're talking about supporting local businesses. We'll give a huge shout out to Daryl over at Starcraft Brewery. He, his brothers, and their dad started a little craft brewery up in Richmond, Michigan there, right off of Main Street. It's behind the Ken's Country Kitchen, if you know the area. Fantastic restaurant, by the way. So it's a little building back there. They've got a few different beers on draft.
They got a lot.
Yeah. They have a couple regulars, or they have some that cycle out. I'm most excited because the Belgian Triple's supposed to be coming back.
Ooh.
And in fact, that might be back this week. and I'm going there, for karaoke.
I'm down.
They do have karaoke's every Monday. Yep.
Ooh, maybe.
So they got karaoke night every Monday. Usually you'll probably find me wandering around there somewhere. But they've got wines and beers there. They just expanded. They got everything for the outside patio area. So it's got a big tent over it. You can sit outside if you want, sit inside. They've got different bands that'll come and play there, music. A couple times a week they've got food trucks that come out. They don't have food yet. They sell some awesome seasoned pretzels though, and they kind of an unusual item to find at a brewery, malted milk balls.
Well, they have
But they're
those,
good.
and then he always has his popcorn machine going too.
Yeah, they've got popcorn going all night. They had like a boiled peanuts thing. I don't know what happened to that though.
Well, he brings them back, he said, certain times. I talked to him about that before. But John and I have both been, for those of you who are fans of Wheelin', you may have seen Wheelin' go live, and I think 4x4 Talk go live. We were out there playing some karaoke the other night, having some fun. Or that would have been about a week ago. Yep. We had a great time.
Oh, yeah.
And, but here's the thing, folks. They not only have beer, they have wine. Now, I am
and it's fantastic.
John's more of a beer snob than I am. In a former life, I was more of a wine snob. And I'll tell you what, I really have moved over to beers myself, but most of the beers that they have it is by far my favorite local brewery. And I'm not saying that just because they're a sponsor of Wheels in the Woods. I go in there's a lot of local Michigan breweries, a lot of great Michigan breweries. I mean, I enjoy many of them that I go to. But StarCraft, the quality, the flavor profiles.
Yeah.
I'm not going to name names. There's another very popular local brewery, and when I go into that brewery, they upsell all this stuff, and their prices are really good. And they're like, "Oh yeah, this is a blah blah blah," and they, whether it's a Belgian triple or it's an IPA or whatever it is, and every single time it's got an initial good flavor, and then the rest of it has a flat flavor profile. It just is like. The beer is almost not carbonated flat, but just the taste is flat. It's bland. It's bland.
Yeah.
In many ways. Well, there's like one taste.
Yeah.
And that's it. It's just like straight across the line. A lot of the stuff that they're doing at StarCraft, and I would say, like, I like the darker beers. What's that one that they have that I was having last weekend? That the real dark one.
There was a milkshake stout, and then they have like a vanilla bean stout.
And the M43. No, not M4. What is it?
I'm really bad with the names.
Yeah. Whatever it is. Whatever it is. I really like the dark beers up there myself, personally. Of course, everybody has their own personal taste, but really love everything they're doing, and very complex flavors.
Yeah, the flavor carries from start to finish. It's fantastic.
And
I'm not much for stouts, and I love their stouts.
If they're not super slam busy, even if they are, Daryl or one of the other guys that works there, one of his brothers or family members.
Daryl, Phil, Aaron, and I apologize, I don't remember your guy's dad's name.
They'll usually give you a tour of the brewery.
Yeah, they'll give you samples. If they do flights, but if it's something like, I don't know about this, they'll pour a little snifter and then go from there. It's awesome.
As for the wines, I've gone through and tasted most of the wines they've had, and same thing. They've had whites and reds and things. Their red wines, oh my God! I mean, the quality of the wine that they are making is stuff that you would expect to spend $30, $40, $50 a bottle for, and their prices are nowhere near that. I mean, they're way underpriced for what it is. So, but StarCraft. So John approached StarCraft, and they decided to take all of our 4x4 specific awards this year, which we have 9 of them for Wheels in the Woods. We're doing 20 awards total, and then we also have our trivia contest, our Power Wheels contest awards and whatnot. But they took 9 of the awards. So after they did that, I had contacted Jeff over at True Value, and my brother, and I said, hey, we've got 11 awards left to sponsor. What would you be interested in sponsoring this year? And he said, well, let's take the rest of them. And I was like, wait. And he's like, yeah, no. He said, we've been having fun with the event every year. So, anyways, I'm really super excited that he has done that. And it didn't really leave a spot to offer any more award sponsorships this year. Maybe next year we'll up the price or we'll offer more awards again. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Yeah. The event's been slowly building. Of course, this year, again, we are inviting, through the help of Scroungers Car Club Michigan chapter, we are inviting hot rods and classics and things like that as well. So this is not just a 4x4 event, but folks know that it is heavily focused on 4x4s.
Yeah.
Half of our awards are for 4x4 vehicles.
Yeah.
We do have awards that kind of cross over between the genres. So, best diesel. If you show up with a diesel car, you can still win best diesel. Or
I'd love to see like a military Honda Civic or something. That would just be cool.
Absolutely. Maybe in the future we'll do best wasteland vehicle or whatever the case may be, things like that. But, the event, I'm really excited for October 9th and seeing what we come up with this year and seeing if people come out in droves or if it's going to be kind of a stale year like last year. Although last year was our biggest year yet.
Oh, yeah.
So each year, if it keeps growing, I'm a happy man,
What I'm honestly most excited to see, I think, in all honesty, the Power Wheels.
Yeah.
Those kids have so much fun with that. It is just so cool to see them going through. I mean, it's just cool to see how happy and excited they are of it.
I don't want to jinx it at this point, but we may be greatly adding to that course this year.
Ooh, excellent.
So if you have kids and they have their own Power Wheels, bring them. There is no cost to compete in the Power Wheels events. There's no extra cost. It's not like you have a registration fee for that. Once you've registered for the event or if you've come in as a spectator for free, which that's something else. In the past, we always charged a spectator admission, and we did drop that last year, and we decided to continue that for this year. There is no spectator admission. If you want to run for one of the awards, then there is a $20 registration fee. But otherwise, you can come in, check everything out. You can even come in and join the Power Wheels race for no cost whatsoever. So put your Power Wheels in the back of your truck, bring it down, let your kid. We have 2 classes. Off the top of my head, I think we did ages 3 to 6 and 7 to 12. Is that what it is?
7 and under and 8 and up.
Something like that, yeah. And so it's an awesome event, and everyone at the show every year gets involved. They all run over and watch these kids and cheer them on. Such a great thing. It's a lot of fun. But
and I don't remember if we talked about this, but were we still going to do the ordering thing from Foxfire like we did in years past?
We are.
Excellent.
So, they are.
Get in on those pulled pork egg rolls. Oh my God.
So they're another. They are a sponsor in a way. They're not sponsoring the awards, but what they're doing, just like last year, is 10% of all food sales that comes in to Wheels in the Woods. They are donating back to the Museum of Off-Road Adventure. So,
I think. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, I'll say, so that's just, it works out really good. Last year, they gave us a pretty hefty check, which was really nice. And a lot of people ordered food, so, hoping to get that again.
So here's what I'm wondering. I know last year with everything going on, we had a little bit of a limited menu. Were we still doing that for this event, or are we going to have full access to that full menu this time?
I'm not sure.
My gut wants to know.
I'm going to have to find out. I think you're going to be okay to order anything that's on their regular takeout menu.
Poppers.
Yeah,
and pulled pork egg rolls.
I think I'm
satisfied.
I think you're gonna be good to order whatever you'd like.
Sweet.
And that'll, like I said, 10% of everything. So if you get your food bill up there to $50, we're making $5 off of you. So
I like it.
It's a great thing.
It makes me feel not bad about buying a bunch of food.
Speaking of the museum, I think we've announced before on previous episodes, museum's back open now every Thursday from 5:30. I'm sorry, from 6 o'clock to 8:30.
Did we talk about our new display we have in there?
The hovercraft?
No. In the back on the shelves there.
No. And we can do that,
our new collection. It's a whole vehicle collection. Pretty competent. I mean, it's pretty impressive. We're able to fit, 50 new vehicles in here in that same
about 100.
space? About 100. Okay.
About 100 new vehicles.
Wow, I misunderestimated that for sure. So, yeah, we were able to go with some vertical stacking on a display rack for these. Got a lot of cool limited edition stuff, and they're predominantly Jeeps, if not all Jeeps, I think it is.
Well, here's the
couple non-Jeeps.
Actually, no. They're all Jeeps except one.
Oh, what's the one?
It's a Toyota Land Cruiser.
Oh, okay. I didn't even notice
that.
It's
an FJ40.
Nice.
But, okay. So, John's teasing you here. What's going on?
I'm telling the truth.
You are telling the truth. We had at the museum, we had a lady contact us, and I'm not going to say names right now. She was supposed to get me a whole thing together about her late husband. Her late husband, who was a huge car guy and a Jeep enthusiast, but he was actually more into cars. But for whatever reason, he loved toy Jeeps. And he loved toy Jeeps of every kind. So he was at a garage sale, a flea market, auction, whatever. He would buy unique toy Jeeps. And he had collected about 100 toy Jeeps, all the way from Matchbox and Tootsie Toy size cars, all the way up to stuff that was like remote control size that's maybe a foot long. And he just absolutely loved them. collected boxes and boxes and boxes of them, and he passed away here a few months ago, and she came down and donated them all to the museum. Some of the stuff is really vintage and probably worth quite a bit of money. Some of it's fairly new. It's just an eclectic collection of Jeep toys, and it's probably one of the most comprehensive collections of Jeep toys I've ever seen. You got everything from male Jeeps and old McDonald's Jeeps, and just, like I said, Tootsie toys and Matchbox cars and Hot Wheels cars and all sorts of really cool toy Jeeps. And they donated it to us, and we made this shelf setup in the back of the museum. It's a beautiful display, and there is a video on the Museum of Off-Road Adventure Facebook page that gives you a tour of that entire collection. So if you want to do that, cool. Bonus points to anyone who can go on 4x4 Talk and tell us where I already spoiler alerted it. There is a Toyota Land Cruiser in there. If you can point it out, if you can find in the video, you're going to have to look real close because it does look like a Jeep. But if you look at the features on the toy, it's obviously an FJ40 and not a Jeep.
Nice.
So I don't know if this guy knew it, if he thought it was just some generic Chinese-looking Jeep or what, but there's one Toyota in the entire
That's
collection.
Awesome. That's awesome.
They now are sitting behind the another Toyota, the FJ55 Iron Pig. They sit in the shelf behind that, which is pretty cool.
That's very cool. Yeah, we were there for our board meeting. Was that 2 weeks ago now?
Yeah.
Something like that. And yeah, we all got to take a look at that, and that was very cool.
A little bit more news, which you don't even know about the museum.
Oh.
You know how the front... So the museum is in a Korean War surplus Quonset hut, as you know. It was built, we believe, sometime about 1952, the building, or after
Imagine BJ and Pierce are somewhere in the back cooking up some gin.
Is that a MASH reference?
Yeah.
I really never watched that much, but okay.
Oh, it was a good show.
I've watched a few episodes. It's been years, but so it's a Quonset hut. If you don't know what a Quonset hut is, look it up. But it's basically a giant culvert kind of thing, and that's what the museum's built in. And really cool old building. It's basically a Faraday cage. Anything you walk in with an electronic device, boom, you have no signal.
Yep.
So you get to spend more time actually paying attention to the displays, which is awesome. But when we were originally gifted the space in the museum, we were gifted the entire building, I think, is maybe 12,000 square feet, something like that.
Nah.
We were originally gifted the back half of the building for our displays. And the front half was part of the Christmas walk display, which we've talked about before on the History of Sleds episode, way back when, episode 30-something, I think, something like that.
I don't remember. Oh, look.
I mean, you can if you'd
pretty
like.
Early on, yeah.
We talk about some of the early Christmas off-road things in kind of what is a Christmas episode, per se. But anyways, the front half of the building has always been for another local event, and they used it for busing to the Christmas walk event. So when you came to the museum, you walked through a bunch of Christmas collection displays, and then the back half of the building was the museum.
Episode 31, History of Sleds.
That was pretty good. So yeah, in the 30s. So episode 31, if you're a Christmassy type person, listen to episode 31, go way back. But anyways, they've since decided with the Christmas walk, they are changing up the way that they are doing their event, and they're now having people park at the building that it's hosted at.
Oh.
So we have been told that it's okay to take over the front half of the building.
Oh, cool.
So the square footage that we can build with the museum on the inside now doubled.
Oh, wow. Cool.
So we got a lot, and so we're going to change a little bit of the layout for the new theater that's coming in.
Can we get that fountain thing running?
The fountain.
Wasn't there a fountain in the corner in the one room?
Yeah, I mean, weird. Yes.
Yeah. I got plans.
Okay. All
I
right,
got
all right.
ideas. I'm gonna need to borrow some of those remote or little model cars.
Oh my god, that might be neat. I think I know where you're going with that. So we'll see how that all goes.
We'll talk later.
But we're going to be able to change up the front of the building quite a bit, which is really, I'm looking forward to that. We've got a lot of extra space we can work with now, because before we were always limited to about a max of a dozen to 16 vehicles, depending on how we laid them out. But so we got that going on. Anyways, so a lot of great news, great news with all of that. And it does feel good to be getting back into the normal again. And, getting people into the museum and checking things out. Had a couple visitors last week. The first week we opened up, but last week we had a couple of visitors.
Nice.
Next week, we'll just have to see what comes up.
For sure.
But anyways, back to, more off-road vehicle talk, which I know we're kind of talking a little bit about all of this and that. We're talking more about the museum Wheels in the Woods.
I got a good one that we can kind of lead back into working on after this one.
Well, I mean, you can go ahead with that. All I was going to mention is that I've seen a lot of XJ talk recently on 4x4 Talk, and I was like, well, let's talk about XJs
I've
for a minute.
noticed
What do you
it.
got
I
going on?
really got to sit down and catch up on that. I apologize, guys.
What did you want to talk about, Mr. John?
So, equipment maintenance, in particular tool maintenance. So I was running into an issue. I would have had my floor probably done, except I kept overheating my welder.
Okay.
So just kind of a little, what would you call this? Pro tip, quick tip, friendly
Just the
reminder. I wouldn't go that far. Whenever you get a welder, a new toy, any kind of big electrical thing, look at your maintenance scheduling in the back of the book. It tells you periodically, take the cover off, blow it out with an air compressor. I had never done that to this welder. I don't know when or if it was ever done.
Your welder has a maintenance book?
Well, they call it a manual, I believe. Well, it's, the typical guy
I always find
thing.
my stuff old and used, and so, like, it
When
never
in
comes
doubt,
with a
read the
manual.
directions.
So I'd have to
You
go
can
buy
download
it?
No, you
okay.
can download them just about anywhere.
All right.
Regardless, yeah, just take a little bit of care and blow those out. It was pretty nasty. I overheated it twice, which, yeah, you get into the whole duty cycle thing. I know what I did. But when I went to use it after I let it cool down the second time, it flashed the arc and then shut off, and I couldn't get it to turn back on.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, so I did figure the problem out and fix it, thankfully, something simple. But in the meantime of that, I had another welder I got from the body shop I used to work at, or the car dealer I worked at. This was from the body shop. Mm-hmm. This was one that had been retrofitted probably 3 or 4 times since 1972, and it was brand new. And not always properly done.
Okay.
So a lot of things had been bypassed because something was broken, and then they never actually installed the MIG gun properly after they converted it. And when they did that, they moved the gas valve, all this other crap. So I went through and I got that thing cleaned up, retrofitted all that. So basically, I have a really nice new 220 MIG welder.
Nice.
I still got to make the hookup, which I need my dad's help
You do
for
need
that.
a hookup.
Oh, that too. But that's for the after show.
Oh.
No, it's should be a nice welder though. I'm really excited for it.
Perfect.
And just another little tip I'll offer: when you're if you're looking to buy a welder, if at all possible, try and go 220. You can get much better duty cycle out of that, and that just means you can weld longer without having to take breaks.
Yeah.
And it will really save yourself a lot of headache and aggravation and annoyance with things.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
On that note, something I learned a few years back is, especially if you're dealing with a name brand tool and welders, for instance, let's say Miller Lincoln, or if you're using a plasma cutter, Hypertherm, something like that. If you're using a name brand tool, or even torches, like, you got a Tweco setup or whatever it is.
Victor. Purox is old school.
Yeah.
Smiths. All I can think of.
A lot of the parts are made for these various brands where they will interchange.
Yeah.
However, for peak performance, using the factory original parts for that machine that you have is really key, and not using the eBay Chinese knockoff stuff.
That will save you so much headache.
I learned that myself. I had bought, for my Miller 250, my entire gun and hose assembly for my Miller 250 was completely worn out. When I got it, it had all sorts of abrasions and stuff. It'd probably been driven over and who knows what, but it worked for years for me.
Yeah.
But it finally got to the point where it needed a liner, and I was like, I'm just going to replace the whole thing because it was in such bad shape, and it had internal shorts for the trigger for the gun.
Yeah.
I had wired to the outside and electrical taped it the whole way, and I said, all right, it's time to just replace this thing. So I went on to, online various sources, and I want to say the Miller brand one was maybe $350, and there was a Chinese eBay company that was selling a Miller compatible replacement for about $150, and I bought one, and the thing just kept jamming and just all sorts of weird things. I just kept messing with it. Finally contacted the eBay seller, and they're like, oh, it must be a bad one. We're going to send you another one. So they said, just keep that one. They sent me another one. Admittedly, the replacement one was slightly better, but I still had problems with it.
Yeah.
And then I lucked out. I never did buy another brand new one. I probably should have, but I was at a yard sale, and they had a Miller, actual Miller brand gun and hose assembly. It was only a 10-footer versus the 20-footer I already had, or 15-footer I had. And I said, all right, so I'm going to try it. Grabbed it, and that's what I'm still running to this day. Someday I will probably replace it with a better one again, but that old Miller one that's probably 30 years old is operating better than the brand new Chinese stuff.
Oh,
So,
for sure.
So that's something I learned with the welders and other tools over the years too.
This is probably something that goes without saying, and I think any of you listening probably already know this, but just in case, if you're looking to buy anything that's consumable to replace what you've worn out, buy two. Because there's nothing worse than being in the middle of a project, realizing you have a bad contact tip or something, and then you don't have another. I thankfully have piles of these things, but the point is the same nonetheless. It is the worst thing to get in the middle of something and run out of wire for something.
Even at my work, we do a lot of torching at work, a lot of oxyacetylene torching, and I love where I work, but a lot of times what they'll do is they'll send me out a torch kit if I have a lot of torching at a job site, because our truck drivers will drop off the equipment, the big equipment. So they'll set out a set of torches, and they'll send it out with one, maybe two tips. And if you're spending a week torching through I-beams all day long or whatever, you're going to burn up tips.
Oh, yeah.
It just is what it is. So
I believe that's called physics. Heat melts metal.
I'd call them up, and they'd be like, oh, we'll get it out on the next truck. Well, the next truck might be the next day. So I got in the habit of actually carrying a couple spares in my glove box. I just grabbed them from our shop and just threw them in the glove box. And that way I don't ever have to worry about it. Just grab them and do that. But
nice.
Back to, all that and talking about the XJs and stuff like that for a minute. Like I said, I know there's a lot of XJ talk. Brent Duché and a few of the other guys are Dutcher. We said it was Dutcher, right?
I don't remember. I'll be honest.
Anyways, he's gonna laugh at us once again, or he's gonna think we're jerks, whatever,
or drunk,
or that,
which is probably not true. I'm not drinking yet.
What's in this? Oh,
and I see an ice cube.
Yeah. But anyways, I'm seeing a lot of XJ action on there, and not getting into basically tech, because we've done that multiple times on the XJ, but something I've noticed right now, if you're interested in buying an XJ project, and this might be, without getting too political, an economic statement. I've noticed that Marketplace, and we've mentioned this a couple of times recently, Marketplace, Craigslist, stuff like that, there's a lot of great deals to be had right now. Oh, yeah. And I think it's because people are running out of their Biden bucks and stuff, and they're like, "Oh, I better sell off some of this stuff because I want to be able to stay at home." That happens. They're free money. I mean, I guess that I'll get into that political part of it. These people that have sat at home and collected free money for a year have said, "Oh, well, the free money's been cut off, and I don't want to go back to work yet, so I better start selling some stuff." And when you get a downturn in the economy like that, or a downturn in a market like that, it's for people who do work and have a little bit of money set aside, it's time for some great deals. Yeah. And
that's why I'm all right with that part.
I know. I picked up a couple of great deals myself for my new project. But I've noticed
training gun I got a good deal on.
I've seen a lot of XJ stuff, and there's a number of them I got close to. The other day there was a 96 5-speed that looked mint. The guy said it had a soft spot in the driver's floor, but I mean, couldn't see anything in the pictures. Yeah. It was a beautiful, beautiful looking truck. They went $1,200 for it. Wow. And I mean, he listed it like 35 minutes prior. I messaged him and said, "Hey, what's the deal? Where are you located? I might want to come take a look at it." Even though I'm not looking for an XJ right now, I've always liked them, as you know. I'm more of a 97 to 01 guy, but I do like all the XJs. And I messaged him, and I mean, it's like he had listed 35, 40 minutes prior, and he messaged me back, and he's like, "Yeah, sale pending." I'm like, "Are you serious?" And there was a bunch of them. There was another one. There was and like I said, that was a 5-speed truck. There was another 2-door. It was an automatic, but it was a 2-door 4-liter automatic, which the 2 doors, but it was like a 99, which are really rare. Yeah. The 97 to 01s in a 2-door are really rare to find. And it was like same thing.
Huh.
It looked darn near mint condition. They wanted like $800 for it.
Wow.
And I messaged, and it had just been listed.
Someone like killed in it or something? It was that cheap?
I don't know, man. I listed.
You get an interior cheap.
I messaged because, we've talked before how XJ prices have been going up in the last couple of years. And right now, everything's coming down.
Yeah.
Antique cars, antique trucks, 4x4s, everything's coming down. People need money. And I messaged him, and he never got back with me. And then I watched the listing, and it was marked sold the next day.
Oh, yeah.
So
it's crazy how fast some of this stuff's been selling lately.
People need cash
weird.
fast. So I'd say if you're looking for a great deal on an XJ or any other rig, just get onto Marketplace or Craigslist, but be diligent. The old
And quick.
yeah, there's the old adage, crap or get off the pot, if or strike while the iron's hot, either one. Don't sit there and go, well, maybe I'll look at it this weekend. I get guys, I've had a couple things for sale. I've had people this weekend and stuff, or people on some of my stuff, and they're like, oh, well, yeah, can you hold it till Sunday for me? If with a deposit, well, I don't have PayPal. It's the 21st century, dude.
Yeah.
Well, I don't really know if I want it. Well, I'm not holding it for a week.
Yeah.
So
I missed out on a cast iron pan that way. One of them was a waffle maker I've been looking for a long time. Really good price, but it was almost a 3-hour drive.
You should have just gotten in the truck and driven.
I said it. I found it at like 10 o'clock at night.
Oh, you could have been the right one.
Well, I said, I messaged, I said, if it weren't so late, I'd say I could meet tonight, but I could meet tomorrow or Monday. I don't remember when. This was last week I sent this. And, he goes, well, there's a whole bunch of people interested, but they're all out of town. Let me know when you're in the area, and if it's still here, we'll meet up. This is, I understand where you're at. It's a 3-hour drive. I won't be in the area unless I know it's a for sure thing.
Yeah, well, you got to strike while the iron's hot, man.
Yeah, that's the thing. I wasn't able to.
Or you got to cook the waffles while the iron's hot.
I got to get the iron first to make the waffles. That was the
Do
problem.
you even eat waffles?
Yes, I love waffles. It's one of my favorite breakfast
Oh,
foods.
my God. Well, I mean, definitely you got to do that. And just watch
I'll
now,
find one
folks.
one day.
It's amazing. And it's dangerous for me. I got to stay off it because I'll spend my entire paycheck like that, and just it's
I got all kinds of little projects, and I got to look for another. That stainless pipe you helped me with the other day, I kind of screwed it up.
Why?
I cut it 7 inches too short.
7 inches?
Yeah.
How do you cut something 7 inches too short?
So it was supposed to be part of a pass-through assembly.
Do you realize if the rabbi would have cut it 7 inches too short, you would have been in deep
Would have been
trouble.
a different pronoun. I'm not Jewish.
Yeah.
Come on.
Just saying.
That's funny.
That Moyle man, he would pull that thing out.
No, I guess this probably goes to maybe another little tip to offer people. Yes, the phrase measure twice, cut once. I measured probably 5, 6, 7, or 8 times. And this part that I got the material from a friend, it was supposed to be a pass-through assembly of 3 pieces. Well, I didn't grab the 3rd piece while I was doing the rough-in measurements on it. And I was in such a hurry, I didn't think about it the entire time I was marking it and measuring and figuring out what distance I wanted everything set at. And I cut it, and I'm sitting there filing the edges over, making it all look nice. And then I go, wait a minute. Oh, crap. I'll say that word. I did not say that word. I said many other words.
Mm-hmm.
And that self-control I've learned in the garage when things go wrong of not breaking stuff did pay off. I didn't break anything or hurt myself this time.
Well, there you go.
The pipe's bent now, and that was a pretty thick stainless pipe, but
Did you throw it?
very, very hard at the ground, yes.
Oh, you could have still maybe used it, right? No.
No. I want seamless, so I'm not going to weld it back together. I'm not going to
temper
sleeve
tantrum, so cute.
it. No, the scrap piece was too short. The piece I cut was too short.
So you're just gonna have to use some cast iron.
No, it's got to be stainless. It's a food grade filter system.
Copper.
I thought about that too. I have everything I need to do it with that, but I wanted stainless.
Sweat the copper.
I know. I got to use that 96.4 stuff though, low lead, because it's food grade stuff.
It's so easy to do.
I know. I know how to do it. I have everything to do that, but I wanted stainless.
Copper looks cooler.
You won't even see this. It's internal.
Well, then why do you want to even care?
Stainless is sanitized easier.
Oh my god.
It's not a big deal. I'll figure that out. But yeah, sometimes just slow down. Maybe make sure you're thinking everything through before you waste a part that you
Measure
can't
once,
replace
cut
now.
twice. Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Keep cutting it until it fits.
Yeah, exactly. I know you said it backwards.
Oh, okay.
I'm aware. Anywho.
And that's the bane of projects. You just have to kind of take your time and
you
don't
learn
rush.
you still can make mistakes because you learn from them. I mean, it's still a benefit, I guess.
I was looking at a guy that does on Facebook the other day, and he, and I liked his humility of it. He was selling Cummins converted Ford Excursions, and he said, "This is the 10th one I've done." He goes, "It's super clean." He had pictures, blah blah. He says, and he goes, "And this is the best one we've done yet." And he says, "I'm learning as I go." And people were making fun of him, like, "Oh, you're telling me that the other 9 were crap or this?" And he's like, "Well, no." He goes, "Every single one of these I do. I learn tips and tricks."
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, "I'm putting them together super clean." And
Yeah.
so I thought that was kind of neat. But
That's when I did the diesel conversion. The guy who does the kits, I think I remember there was at MercedesDiesel4x4.com. When I was talking to him back then, he didn't have an easy solution for the tack fix. He's been doing these swaps for years in the YJs and other vehicles. Mm-hmm. I says, "Well, this is what I came across. I'll let you know if it works." And when I completed it and it worked, got a hold of him, says, "Yeah, you wire this to this, this to this, and then it works like factory."
oh, you have a working tack in that thing?
Yeah, every gauge in there works as
even
factory.
realize that.
Yep. Yeah, everything. Even the boost and the EGTs, obviously those work, but I kind of want to put a dimmer on the backlights, though. They're really bright at night. It's annoying.
Yeah, there you go.
But, yeah.
But, man, I don't know what else to talk about right now, but all I can tell you is I'm excited for Wheels in the Woods,
Yeah.
October 9th. And
I'm very much looking forward to it.
I'm excited to see you getting more progress done on
Me too.
your truck. I've done nothing but parts collect and then work in the garage, which is getting very, very decent.
It's all necessary.
Yeah, the garage is looking pretty serious.
I did look at the truck when I got over here today. That thing is going to be sweet, dude.
Think so?
You going to paint it or are you going to keep it white?
No,
That's my only
I
question.
got to paint it.
Okay.
I'm a white truck guy. I mean,
Thank God.
eventually, but it's a solid start, though, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. That looks awesome.
Yeah.
For sure.
It even runs awesome. So that's why I'm kind of wondering if I need to fix the 6.4. I don't know, but...
Hey, we already discussed that.
Yeah. I know. But, well, with that, man, I'm going to tell you that if anybody's interested in hearing more about Wheels in the Woods, you need to go on Facebook, Wheels in the Woods 2021. If you're interested in hearing more about the Museum of Off-Road Adventure, which we talked about a little bit in this episode, you need to come to the Museum of Off-Road Adventure, which is 8061 Marsh Road, Clay Township, Michigan. 48001, and we are open from 6 to 8:30 every Thursday unless we have some sort of extenuating circumstance. And we are also open by appointment by calling 877-FWD-MORA, M-O-R-A. You can make an appointment. We can usually accommodate just about any group size and at any time. We'll just have to work with you a little bit on that depending on when it is. Otherwise, if you're interested in following everything that we do, you can go to Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and you can find us at Museum of Off-Road Adventure, and you can also find the podcast at the Wheelin' Podcast. John, you got some other things you want to talk about?
Yeah, so let me ask you this. Where are the locations for Codette's hardware store, or Codette's True Value it was, right?
Codette's True Value Hardware are in Livonia, Williamston, and Fowlerville, Michigan.
Nice. Always good to know those locations.
And then Starcraft Brewery is in Richmond, Michigan.
Located in Richmond, Michigan, off North Forest Avenue. Again, that's just off of Main Street there. And if you're going to look that up for Google, it's Star with 2 R's and then Craft Brewery. Hopefully Google will spell that part for you. No, if you want to interact with us more, though, make sure to check out 4x4 Talk on Facebook. Facebook.com/4x, just search 4x4 Talk on Facebook.
There you go.
A couple quick questions, get you on the page, check it out. We are on Patreon as well, patreon.com/wheelinradio. Access those $2 a month, gets you some extra bonus content. A lot of stuff we don't get to or don't talk about on the show, or a little bit more R-rated. We've been doing a lot of beer reviews lately, and I've got some fantastic stuff for us to try out tonight for it.
Oh, really?
I do. I brought a real special one, actually, too.
Nice.
I'm very excited to try out. And I don't know, I think we hit everything there, didn't we?
I think so, buddy.
Well, if not, we'll get it next time. So with that, thanks for listening, and have a good one, everybody.